And this week, the U.S. Marshals charged with protecting federal judges reported a nearly twofold increase in threats to judges since Trump took office, according to the New York Times. We've told you about judges right here in D.C., like D.C. Circuit Judge Michelle Childs, who's received multiple threatening anonymous pizza deliveries. And at least one federal judge has recently raised the question about what would happen if the president pulled the U.S. Marshals from their role protecting judges. Joining us now to talk about all of this is Paul Kiesel, a lawyer and advocate for judicial security. Paul, thank you for joining us. You did an event on this very topic this week, had some tough conversations about a topic that continues to change with breaking news every day. What came out of that event?
Well, Katie, thank you for asking. Obviously, the title of our organization is Speak Up for Justice. And while the Lady Liberty has a blindfold so that she does not see whether you're rich or poor, she also has a muzzle. That's what I'm trying to get the word. She can't speak. And that's really endemic of what judges can't speak. Other than their written decisions, they don't have an ability to speak up for themselves. And the risks to the court right now are substantial. Judge Salas, as your viewers may know, suffered the death of her son in 2020 when a disgruntled litigant came to her house and shot her son and critically wounded her husband. The work of the judiciary is essential to the democracy that we have in our system of government. And if our judges aren't safe, if they can't speak out for themselves, the legal community, we need to do that for them.
You mentioned judges are muzzled, or at least they don't typically speak to the public about this. One judge, Judge Sullivan in New York, mentioned in a private setting a concern about whether or not the president may have the power or be able to pull the U.S. Marshals from protecting federal judges. Do you think that's a real risk?
I think it's absolutely a risk that the judges have. They have no security outside of the courthouse. They're on their own. Nothing. If they're moving around, sometimes they have marshals that follow them or they travel in a vehicle with a marshal. But beyond that, they live lives just like you and I do. And so the incendiary kind of words that are being used to inflame the community about what judges are doing no doubt will instigate potential problems for the judges outside of the courtroom itself.
I want to talk about a tweet or a truth that Trump put out this week that not only attacked judges, but actually went after Leonard Leo, the founder of the Federalist Society, who helped him pick his 3 Supreme Court justices and a slate of federal judges in his first term. So he has not only turned his ire on judges, but also the people who helped him put those judges in place in his first term. What do you make of that?
I think that the purpose of the court is to be nonpartisan. The constant reference to who the president was that appointed a particular judicial officer really misses the point. And the idea is the judges need to act independently. And so to the extent that there are political waves that come and go, what we really need to do is recognize the courts are obligated to follow the Constitution. They take oaths to be judges, and that's what their obligation is to the Constitution, to be the guardrails of our democracy. And so when you have judges like Judge Roberts, who are now speaking out about the potential risks to the court, it's risen to the level that even the Chief Justice himself is addressing these issues to the public.
Look, we hope for the most part we don't have to go into a courtroom for something contentious in our lives, but the courtroom is sometimes the epicenter of the most heartbreaking, the most gut-wrenching, the most angry moments of people's lives, and things can get really heated. I mean, when I was a lawyer in D.C. courts and family court, it was not uncommon to end in either screaming or tears or people getting kicked out or all of the above. But you have talked about the need for all of us collectively as a team project to turn the temperature down. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Look, the fact is there's a lot of rhetoric. There's a lot of social media influencers out there. For example, Judge Salas's son, Danny Andrew, was shot and killed. But in the last month and a half, there have been over 50 pizzas delivered anonymously by the sender, but the person who purportedly sent the pizza was Danny Andrew, actually sending pizzas to federal judges, which is saying really 2 things. Number 1, we know where you live. And number 2, if you don't watch out, you're going to end up just like Danny Andrew did. That is very scary stuff.
And something we can all collectively do is just help bring the temperature down. Paul, you, by joining our show, have maybe helped some people do exactly that. And of course, you will continue your work alongside Judge Salas. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Much glad to join you. Have a good night.